I just gave everybody a false we're live. I said, we're live. No, we aren't. Yes, we are. Hey, we are live. This is Friday Night Live Improv from New York City. And what we are doing next is we are playing the dating game. What's going to happen is we're going to send Heidi out of the room. And while she is in the waiting room, she's going to come up with 3 questions that she would ask if she was on the dating game. Meanwhile, she's our dater. Our datees are going to be Elke, JodyLee, and Anya. And we're going to get some distinctive characteristics for each one of them. And then through answering the questions, Heidi has to figure out what their distinctive tick or trait is. It doesn't make any sense, but you know what? It'll make sense when we do it. So Heidi, we're going to send you into the waiting room. Everybody say bye-bye, Heidi.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Now officially in the waiting room. All right, let's get some stuff. For Elke, I would love to get a phobia. How would a phobia, an unusual phobia for Elke?
Air.
She's air. Afraid of air. Wow. Sandi said that. By the way, Elke, apparently Sandi is your enemy, so you can remember that. We got to get a suggestion for Sandi. I'm going to come right to you. You can get some payback. How about obsession for JodyLee? An obsession.
Obsession.
Feathers.
You're muted, by the way, Anya. Somebody said feathers.
Feathers.
Feathers. I love it. JodyLee, you are obsessed with feathers. And
have an actual feather or not?
well, if you got them, you got to flaunt them, right? For Anya, I'd like something a little special. I would like something that everyone else thinks is icky that Anya loves. Can't get enough of.
Spiders.
Porta potties.
She absolutely. What did you say, Taylor?
Porta potties.
Oh, I'm going to go with spiders because porta potties. That's really hard. And awful. And I did Renaissance festivals, so I know. Anya, you absolutely adore spiders. Cool. So, Elke, what is your thing?
I'm afraid of air.
Aren't we all? JodyLee, what's your thing?
An obsession with feathers.
Love it. Anya, what is your thing?
I love spiders.
Who doesn't? All right, let's bring Heidi in now. Remember, gang, the only thing you're not allowed to do is say, I love spiders. Other than that, answer the questions and try to give her hints. Here we go. Bringing Heidi back. Here she goes. Heidi, we're so glad to have you here on the dating game. By golly, we sent you out into the waiting room. I hope you didn't have to wait too long.
No, I just enjoyed the beauty of this green room.
It is a nice room. We really need to paint it green. And hopefully you have 3 questions for the people who are looking for a date.
I do.
Excellent. Well, then let's get right down to it. Let's hear your first question.
Okay. Contestant number 1. If you were going to bring me flowers on our date, what type of flowers would you bring me?
What a good question. Okay, over to you, Elke. What kind of flowers?
I would bring you the kind of flowers that grow in water. Only water. Okay? The flowers that grow...
I can't quite hear you through that face mask.
Sorry. Something that came into my suit. Flowers that grow underground. Underground flowers. The most beautiful... Okay.
Oh dear, underground flowers or some kind of lilies. Okay, that's an interesting answer. How about you, JodyLee? What kind of flowers would you bring Heidi for the first date?
Well, I would bring artificial no real flowers, artificial flowers
Why?
that were made from parts of birds. So, like maybe some bird bones for the stem, and then various other bird parts to make the flower part. And I just think that would be just gorgeous to have, colorful, wonderful.
Sure, colorful, gorgeous, and somewhat disturbing. All right, Anya.
Oh, I would bring you anything that's very long, elongated, kind of like spidery looking, and I put it in a long vase.
So anything that's long, anything that's long and extended and in a vase of some sort. Okay, Heidi, those were your first round of answers. You got any favorites? Anybody you're thinking that you'd like to go on this date with?
Well, the underwater flowers intrigue me.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I haven't eliminated anyone, of course.
Good to keep an open mind. Good to keep an open mind. Let's go with our next question. What's your next question, Heidi?
Okay, so since we talked about flowers, what is your favorite color?
What a good question. Okay, favorite color. We're going to go to you, JodyLee, first. What is your favorite color?
Well, there can only be a few colors that I would really choose, and it would probably be one like scarlet. Yeah, I would say scarlet would be my favorite.
Scarlet is a very passionate color. I like that very much. Anya, how about you? Your favorite color?
My favorite color is neutral, going to grayish, beige, kind of neutral tone.
A neutral, grayish, going to beige. So it's sort of a range of color. All right. Kind of a mysterious range.
Neutral tone, yeah.
All right, Dynamite. Elke, what's your favorite color?
I would have to say anything that doesn't remind me of the sky. So I would go with what the previous contestant said, neutral colors. Nothing that's blue. Nothing, like I said, nothing that reminds me of the sky or the ozone layer or just above ground.
Dynamite. Okay, so neutral, beige-ish, gray. You got it for two answers. All right, Heidi. Any emerging favorites? I know you're keeping your mind open, but
Well, I prefer bright colors, so right now I'm thinking that JodyLee has the most exciting potential.
all right, maybe this could be happening. All right, let's ask your last question.
Okay, so what would be your ideal weather for our date?
Ideal weather. That's a cool one. I like that very much. All right, let's start with Anya. What would be your ideal weather for the perfect date?
Anything that would be kind of dryish and not too hot, not too cold.
Not too hot, not too cold, and dryish. Okay, that makes sense. You wouldn't. Okay, that makes sense. You wouldn't want any liquid coming down your
No, totally not. It has to be dry.
out or anything like that, because that would really mess things up. How about you, Elke? How about you? What would be the ideal weather for the date?
Well, first of all, weather doesn't concern me. I don't do the outdoors too much. I would say that can I just describe a perfect date?
Please do.
I would say we would both slip into our suits.
Sure.
full covering suits,
Mhm.
of course. And we would playfully caress each other through our suits. We would never take the suits off. No, no, no. And maybe some playful banter, and maybe a meal of well, I would eat the meal separately from you because I wouldn't want the suit to be opened in your presence. It's fear of contamination.
Sure, sure. You wouldn't want to get anything nasty in that suit. Okay, that makes sense. Uh,
Yeah.
JodyLee, what would be the perfect weather for the ideal date?
Well, I would like to take you out just before dawn in migratory season, so either spring or fall.
All right.
And we would go out at first light and listen to the dawn chorus of all those lovely avian creatures. And with any luck at all, they might be shedding,
Ooh, and you get
collecting, which would just be fabulous.
naked avian creatures. Okay, Heidi, this is it. This is the you got to make a decision time. You have to reject 2 of them and select somebody to go out on a beautiful dream date. So who are you going to reject? Let's start with rejection.
Well, I'm not too keen on reptiles or the desert. So I'm afraid that Anya is not going to work for me.
Oh, well, maybe you might be more interested then because she's not all that hot on reptiles, partly because they eat her favorite thing.
They eat her what?
Favorite thing. They sometimes eat her favorite thing.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, for example, there's a food chain, right? And you have small insects on the low end, and then you have Anya's favorite thing in the middle, and then reptiles at the top. Anya, talk a little bit more about why reptiles. You don't like reptiles, right?
And reptiles, I cannot stand anything that's bigger than me. I like only things that are smaller than me.
Smaller, but have a lot more arms and legs. Does that help, Heidi? Maybe you want to go out with her now?
And I'm thinking that she lives in the desert and
Can be in the desert, but they're all over the place. Her favorite thing is everywhere.
But I like urban areas too. I like especially under bridges and under things. You know, very romantic, like walking under bridges, under tunnels.
rats kind of freak me out. So
They freak her out too. Even smaller than rats, but often thought of in the same sentence.
Oh,
mice also give me the creeps.
nothing running. No, forget anything running appalls me.
Even smaller.
Smaller. They kind of have, you know what I love about it, and I'm sure you love, instead of fabric, they kind of stretch like fabric, and that gives me such pleasure. There's something sensual about
silk. They really do. You're right.
Worms, slugs.
So close. You know what? I'm going to give it to you because you don't want to go out with Anya anyway. She just loves spiders. And so I'm giving you that. Worms and slugs are awful close on that food chain. I'm sorry, Anya. You have been rejected. How do you feel?
Well, I sometimes being a loser makes you think twice about your life.
Oh, that's a nice way to think about it. All right, speaking of losers, I'm sorry, Heidi, you got to make somebody else into a loser. Who are you going to reject next?
Well, Elke doesn't like to touch, and I'm a tactile person, so
sure.
And
oh, my suit is open. Ah!
Oh, hang on.
And
Well, let me ask you a question, Elke. What is in those suits? Because I know what you have a phobia against, and it doesn't make sense. What are you even breathing then?
A special concentration of juices that that turn into gases.
Oh, so pure, like pure oxygen, for example.
Yeah, it gives me a kick.
Sure, because the thing that you're afraid of course, is literally all around us. That's the big reason.
Right. Do you have tape? Because I have a tear in my suit, and I don't want anything to get in there.
You're afraid of the air?
She sure is. Oh my God, you really dodged a bullet on that one, because I can only imagine dating her.
Great. Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah, that would be tricky.
That would be tricky. You have been rejected, Heidi, because of your fear of air.
Your loss.
Wow, that was.
Aw.
Remember how Anya was all philosophical?
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is my loss. I hope not.
The air attacks you.
The air attacks you. It is a terrifying thing. So it sounds to me like you would like to go out on a dream date with JodyLee. May I ask why?
Because I think she's an ornithologist or she's a bird watcher, and I love birds, especially cardinals.
Well, then this is going to be a match made in heaven, because JodyLee just loves feathers, and all birds go with feathers. JodyLee, how do you feel? You have been picked for a dream date.
Oh, I have the feathers. I will just wipe these across the body.
Wow, things are going to get weird here. So please give them.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Fun and weird. They often go together. Hey, a big round of applause for everybody who's playing really great work, Heidi. Those were really tough ones. So you can get back at everybody else when they need to get suggestions, because they gave you hard ones. But you did great. We're going to be back in just a minute with some more improv, so stick around.